Brian Sobel. Rex Tillerson was more of an internationalist. The president and Mike Pompeo are more nationalists. In practical terms, what will this mean?
Well, I think Pompeo will go along with what the president is interested in doing internationally and nationally. He puts a huge premium, Frank, on loyalty, and I'm not so sure he thought Tillerson was entirely loyal to him. If you go back a little bit to the line that came out that Tillerson may have called the president a moron, Donald Trump takes names, and I think when you're disloyal, he's going to ease you out. Mike Pompeo is a loyalist, and I think that he's been rewarded today with the Secretary of State position.
The removal of Tillerson has been something that's been rumored for months, since last fall. What's the timing? What's the significance of today?
I think it is ahead of the North Korean discussions. I think Pompeo, head of the CIA, former Army captain, first in his class at West Point, Harvard Law. I think he's suggesting to the Koreans, hey, we're really serious here, and we've got a CIA guy who's now Secretary of State, and we're going to make that stick during these negotiations.
43% of President Trump's top-level staff have now left in the first 14 months in office. That is a record. Does that suggest that the White House is in disarray, or are these normal things that happen when a new administration comes in?
You always have a lot of turnover because, frankly, teams are put together and in place really quickly to take care of near-term issues. I think what we're seeing here is that a lot of Republican Party apparatus types and other people were put into a lot of the lower-level positions just to keep the government functioning. And I think now Donald Trump's taken a hard look at each of these positions and saying either this person's loyal or good by his definition, or they're not. And if they're not, they're going away.
The president also said today he'd like to see the deputy CIA director, Gina Haspel, take Pompeo's place. If she's confirmed by the Senate, she'd be the first woman to lead the intelligence agency. What are your thoughts on that? Well,
she has a very interesting history. She was an operative. She was involved in some of the interrogations during and right after 9/11. So she's got a lot of experience with the agency. I think she'd be viewed by the insiders as a wonderful choice. And what you hear, setting aside the charges of being involved with torture and that sort of thing, I think she knows the agency pretty well, and I think she'd be viewed favorably by a lot of people.
Could you argue that the president wants to be surrounded by people who just think like him, that he doesn't want people who might challenge some of his ideas?
Yes. I think basically what we're seeing is that if you aren't on the Trump bandwagon or with the program, you go away fairly quickly. He has a style that suggests that either you go along with what he says, or maybe we're not going to get along.
Want people to challenge you? Wouldn't you want people to give you different opinions?
Well, his suggestion is that I allow a lot of debate and all that sort of stuff. I think it's when the order has been given and you march to the sound of guns, as the old line goes. If you don't do that, if you equivocate, if you reconstitute what's been already ordered, like I said earlier, he takes names, and you're going to go away.
With Pompeo, they've said that they are more in agreement when it comes to certain things. Do you think we'll see the president's determination become even stronger when it comes to the Iran nuclear deal?
Yes. I think he's got somebody in place now, and arguably the best functioning department in Washington, D.C. was the CIA. It's been a very good year, and Pompeo's been given appropriate credit for running a good agency, and I think you're going to see some changes in our posture internationally around Iran and other countries.
Let's talk briefly about the president coming to California today, looking at the prototypes, going to a very expensive fundraiser in Beverly Hills. Are we going to see that wall built at some point, in your opinion?
I think the president is going to find some modification of the wall and declare victory. Some will be brick and mortar, some will be other surveillance ways and types. I think at the end of the day, he's not going to get the Great Wall of China on the southern border of the United States. He'll get a combination of different things, and he'll walk away and say, I did that.
All right. Well, Brian Sobel, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for your expertise today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Brian.
Yep.